At first, I couldn't believe that after all these detours, some of which have seemed pointless, we would end the season by going back to where we started. It's like, why did we even leave in the first place, Mando? You should have just taken care of business right away. A lot of times, Mando, maybe because this show is supposed to be like a family show leaning towards a kid's show, they're trying to have kids learn through Mando's mistakes, but he's making the mistakes of a child, basically, is what I'm saying. But anyway, I quickly realized that the bigger picture here is that The Mandalorian has finally ended an episode on a genuine cliffhanger. Hooray! Plus, the show also seemed to finally build something, with characters from throughout the season returning for the last big showdown, showing that Mando has built a kind of family for himself, this time one that he can maybe even trust. Maybe, emphasis on the maybe. So far, so good. But I guess maybe that's, I enjoyed last week's episode. I thought it was good with Bill Burr. But I think that the contrast of that group to this group is also very effective. So there was a payoff even though we had to wait for it. I guess some of you were like, that's the way it goes, Grace. But you want to make sure things are entertaining in both the short game and the long game. All right, so anyway, speaking of trust and childlike mistakes, how could an experienced bounty hunter like Mando not know for sure that Greef Karga was setting up a trap for him? I mean, I felt it was super obvious. Obviously, Mando didn't totally trust the situation, but I think he was like at a 60% distrust level when I feel he should have been at a 99% distrust level. I'm like, it's obviously a trap. Not saying he didn't have to walk into it, but, I think it was supposed to be a surprise when Greef Karga turned around and was like, I was going to betray you. But I was like, I kind of knew that, not even when they landed. And he had those sketchy guys with him. When he sent the transmission, I was like, it's a trap. But we'll get to all of that in a minute, because once again, Baby Yoda stole the show. First, when he did a Darth Vader death grip on Cara Dune. Oh, his little fist is so adorable. I can't stand it. He really is just a GIF and meme machine. It's so fabulous. And also, when he put his hand on Greef Karga's arm to heal him, Baby Yoda has the cutest hands, like a real baby. He even has these claws on them. And it's still adorable. It's just the cutest thing ever. I love it so much. But I have to say, having just seen The Rise of Skywalker, where they do the same trick, don't worry, I won't give you the context, I am now keenly aware that Jedis heal by giving up some of their own life force. And while, of course, Baby Yoda, who's a 50-year-old baby, has time to spare, I still didn't like seeing him give any of it away, especially to someone as sketchy as Greef Karga. We must protect Baby Yoda, even from his good instincts. Although I guess, that worked out because Greef Karga, I thought maybe it was a little unrealistic that Greef Karga was like, oh, you've changed my mind about betraying you. He's like, you're worth even more money. I don't know. But speaking of Baby Yoda, it also seems that only Kuiil is a good parent, as he finally gives Baby Yoda the freedom to prove just how special Baby Yoda is. We've been waiting the whole season. Everyone else just wants to put Baby Yoda in a corner, but Kuiil's like, nobody puts Baby Yoda in a corner. I do like how protective everyone is of Baby Yoda. We'll get to how protective Gina Carano is of Mando in a moment. That was great. But also, if Baby Yoda steps up in a major way in the season finale, and I think he will, they're really setting the stage for that, right? His babysitter was killed. Sure, it was a bloodless kill because it's Disney Plus. You're not sure. His body was just smoking, and Ming-Na Wen got up, but it didn't look good. But also, what was interesting about that is I like that the scout troopers, who they casually met earlier in the episode, who were just kind of like, hanging out at the front of town, really doing lackadaisical guard duty, and they were like 20 credits for his helmet, that those guys would end up killing their friend. I thought that was great, because that's very realistic to how things often, unfortunately, go down. So I liked that a lot. But then, not only was his babysitter killed, but Baby Yoda fell face first on the ground. Why didn't he use the Force and stop himself? He was face down in the dirt. Oh, not moving. It was bad. I'm sure Baby Yoda is not dead either. And, maybe Kuiil isn't either. But anyway, if Baby Yoda exacts his revenge next week, I'm going to lose it in a good way. It's going to be fantastic. And I hope that for season 2, many of you were like, I didn't know they were filming season 2. I had missed Jon Favreau's tweet or Instagram photo. But yes, they're filming season 2 right now. But I hope they do a time jump and Baby Yoda becomes Child Yoda. I don't want him to go to teen Yoda, like Groot is already a teenager. I still want Child Yoda, but I want him to be able to speak and do more Force stuff. I mean, he's such a fast learner. He's a prodigy. Look how good he is already, even as a baby. All right, so let's talk about this episode. So Deborah Chow once again did a very nice job as a director, not only making the story feel more epic visually. The pterodactyl night raid was very well done. I know they're called Minox, but they're pterodactyls. They're space pterodactyls. Come on. But also, I thought that Deborah Chow got very good performances out of her actors, particularly Gina Carano, who I thought was a little better here with her acting. Maybe because she was kind of doing wrestling moves, right? She was more in her element, maybe. And I really like how she's becoming a true friend to Mando. Cara Dune's just an all-around awesome person, right? She seems very nice. And I like that Jon Favreau created the character just for Gina Carano. It shows, because it fits her like a glove. I mean, I liked, as I said, her being so protective of Mando. It was nice that someone was looking out for Mando without anything that without anything that they wanted for themselves. Just a good friend. And I think it made her an even more likable character. And she also seemed very capable. The character and the way Gina Carano played her. I like when she was slip him his blaster now. That was all great. But clearly, her biggest weapon is her smile. Gina Carano has a really great smile. A disarming smile. It's very nice. She should use it more often. And it doesn't make her any less tough or formidable. It seems like a really nice, awesome, formidable person. And then, of course, Giancarlo Esposito is always a treat because he always means business. He's getting a lot of work these days. He's Lex Luthor, voices Lex Luthor on the Harley Quinn animated series. He's obviously in The Boys season 1 and about to step up in a major way for season 2. But unlike Clancy Brown, I never tire of Giancarlo Esposito. He's great. What a great actor. Always delivers. And speaking of actors, I'm waiting for Taika Waititi's Droid, who's returned, to pay off. There's a payoff coming, especially since Waititi directs next week's season finale. So again, I'd say the odds are pretty good that Droid's going to factor in at least an interesting way, if not a big way, as to what goes down next week. I did enjoy his relearning montage, especially when he shooed away the space rat. I thought the VFX were a little glitchy on that. I could tell it wasn't real, but it was very charming. So I thought this was a very good episode. It's not a complete episode because it's more of a setup for the season finale, but I thought in that regard, it was very effective. So, what did you think? And what do you think is going to happen next week? We can finally speculate on this show. I love it. This is what's very important, I think, for making shows more discussable. And I hope as they film season 2, they have realized that as well. Better late than never. So share those thoughts down below, subscribe today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.